Hi, guys. It's Peggy with I'mLosingItToday.com, and this is our Wednesday segment. And I'm very excited to have my youngest daughter with me here today, and she has been working with the elderly for about 4 years now, and she's in college, finishing up her degree, and I'll let her give you details on that. But I got to thinking about when you're in your 50s, it's a stage of life where you kind of have to start looking after your parents, and some people are dealing with big issues in that area. So I thought, you know what, Lauren could probably come on here and give you some great pointers about things that she has seen and dealt with in the 4 years that she's been working with the elderly. So without further ado, I am going to turn this over to Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Glad to have you home for Christmas break.
Yeah, good to be home.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you do with the elderly. I know currently you're kind of in between breaks in school. You work over at Meadowood.
Mm-hmm.
So give us some pointers on what you've seen. I know this past summer you worked with the dementia unit.
Yes. So I work mostly in the dementia unit doing activities. So that would be, they can be stages 1 through 4, so they have different types of dementia, but mostly the dementia unit, yes.
Okay. Now, what pointers would you give people that are looking after their elderly parents, things that you've seen that seem to work better for not necessarily dementia patients, but even just the elderly in general?
I think 3 pointers I would think to help the parents out. So if you're a daughter or a son helping your parents out and they're aging and you just really want them to, just really stay involved in the family, is the number one thing is to keep your parents active. So that would be like going on a walk with them. If they live in a senior living place, or if they live at home, if they live with you, you could take them on a walk around the neighborhood or anything like that. So just simple stuff, keeping them active.
I can see one. Well, you know what? That's good for all of us, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your mind active, keep your body active. What is that commercial? A body in motion stays in motion.
Yep. There you go.
I guess it applies to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good tip. Now, what is your second tip that you might think would help?
This one I think most people wouldn't think about, but I noticed have your parents make friends. I know that sounds weird to some people, but if they have friends that they can stay involved with, that would help them stay active. So if you're out of town with your family, or if you're working a full-time job and they have friends that can keep them involved and active, that would be something that would help. Because, they're all kind of going through the same things, whether they're just lost a spouse or anything, that they make friends that are their age that can certainly help out.
I guess like a little support group.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's important, because I don't care what you're going through in life. It's always nice when somebody's going through it with you.
Right.
Especially at a time when you're watching after your elderly parent. You almost become the parent to your parents. So now, what about any other tips that you can think of that might be good for?
Mm-hmm. I think the last one would be never have your parents stay alone too long. I know that sounds, interesting, but I know at that age they struggle a lot with depression. So if they're out, like going back to my first 2 points of staying active and making friends, if they're alone, that can lead to a lot of other problems. Just keeping them in check, checking on them if you can once a day, once a week. Again, bringing back with the friends or other family, checking on them so they're not alone too long would be my third one.
Okay, so the first one is
stay active.
Stay active. Get out, take walks with your parents. Even playing games, I guess, would be considered active. Your second point was
to make friends.
To make friends, exactly. And I think that applies to anybody. We all want friends, right? We're human beings, and that's something that we strive for, is love and companionship. So I can think as you get older, especially if you're a widower or a widower, if that's the right words, widower, that's a lonely time. And then your third one was not to be alone. And that would help with depression. And I think that can apply to anybody. Try to stay active, try to make friends, try to not be alone. And that does help with help in trying to look after your elderly. But okay, well, those were great points, Lauren. I appreciate you. I dragged her in here today and thought, you know what, Lauren, you've been working with the elderly for a long time. I think you could give us some good pointers on it. So now, you are finish up your college degree. Give us a little bit about what you're going to do with that.
So currently my degree is educational studies with a concentration in social services. So I'll be getting that in May of 2019. And my goal would be to work with the elderly population, whether it be activities or my future goal would be start my own business and go in there and just work one-on-one with the residents or patients or anything like that, just to see how they're doing and do activities with them. So.
Now, I know you've had some challenges at Bob Jones because you were like one of the first that they're like, we don't know what to do with somebody that wants to work with the elderly. Give us a little bit about your heart, Lauren. What made you, because I remember even in high school, you said, I want to work with the elderly, and it was very difficult for us to find a degree in that.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit about your heart. What makes you love and want to work with the elderly so much?
Well, it started back with my grandmother, my dad's mom, and she was in a nursing home when I was very young. And so I always thought that was interesting. I always looked at those people and thought that they could have a better life at the end. And I always wanted to be those people that could go in there and, make their day happier, make their day brighter if they don't have family that lives close by. And so I just thought, I can make an impact on their life at the end of their years, and I might have the strongest impact they've ever had, and when they're 90 years old or 85 years old.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to do that. That was my heart, to work with the elderly. So probably since I was 10 was probably when it started to form.
Yeah, you've always had that special gift of wanting to work with the elderly, and I think when we get in our later years, we still have a lot to give, and the elderly have seen a lot, and they've got a lot of wisdom, and we can just get so much from that wisdom if we don't dismiss them and we just sit down and talk to them. So I think that's awesome that you have that love of wanting to work with the elderly. So stay tuned, guys. We'll see where Lauren ends up. She has a little bit of schooling left, but just the heart of working with the elderly, I think, is an awesome thing. And I hope these tips have helped you. If you have any questions, you can Facebook me directly, and, we can ask Lauren. Maybe I'll have her back on before she heads back to school in January. So have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.